Hey guys, Chris Dick here again. I am going to start the part two of our Hadoop cluster installation tutorials. And what we have right now is we've got all of our clusters or our nodes set up, renamed, and ready for connection. What we have to do next is get into using PuTTY and WinSCP. We've downloaded these before, so we have our PuTTY and our WinSCP. So first of all, we're going to set up some connections in PuTTY. Now, what we do here is it's asking for the host, and we'll start off with our name node. We need the host is our public DNS here, and I'm going to put that in now. The other part that we need is our username in PuTTY. It needs our username. So we put Ubuntu at and then the public DNS. All right. We're going to save this. I'm going to save this as name Amazon name node. Now, the other thing that we have to do is we have to generate a private key for authentication. Now we only have to do this once, so what we have to do is go into a program called PuTTY Gen. Okay, so PuTTY Gen. All right, we load that application up. Okay, and we're going to do load private key. Okay, and when you select all files, I am going to pull up my Hadoop key that we downloaded from the previous lesson. Okay, successfully imported foreign key. Okay, and then it says here it's actually prompting us to save private key. And we'll be saving as SSH-2 RSA format. Push save private key. And yes, we want to overwrite. We want to write that. And we're going to overwrite the PPK file that's there already. If yours doesn't have one, then don't worry about it. It's just that I've already created one. Okay, we click yes, and we're saved. We can close this and go back in here into PuTTY configuration. I'm going to click browse, and here we have it in our PPK file that we used before. Okay. Now that we've done that, we should go back into session here, and we want to click save. You'll see that your name node ends up there. And just to test it, we'll click on open. Well, it went well here. It'll ask us this message. You can safely ignore it and click yes to move ahead. Okay, so we are in. All right, and let's give this a little bit more space here. And this is just explaining what that we've authenticated and we're into the system now. I can click ls. There's nothing there, and we can run all of our Linux commands from that. Okay. Now we'll go back into PuTTY again. I'm going to close that session, and we're going to duplicate these. So we click load. Change the name. We're going to change this one to data node 1. Okay. Remember, it's got all the same settings as node 1 here, so you don't have to be too concerned that it's not going to copy over. Push save. I change this to 2. Save. Change this to 3. Save. Now, all we've done here so far is just create copies of name node. Okay. Now, each of these data nodes, though, has its own set of public DNS. So we go back into our data node here, and we grab this information here from data node 1. So, of course, we go back over here. Just after where it says Ubuntu at, we're going to highlight that and paste it. Okay. Save. And we move on to the next. Oops, sorry, I just saved my data node 3. So we're going to do that one more time here. I'm going to do paste, save. Okay. Now, just to be sure, once again, we're going to load up and make sure that we actually did the right thing here. We're on the data node 1. I'll show you how you can find that out. Now, you'll see at the top here it says 7231.58.164. That's the IP address. And for data node 1, right here, this is our IP address. And by the way, this is our internal private DNS. So you can compare the two right there. Okay. And we're going to close up that session. Go back into PuTTY. Load data node 2. Okay, we'll go over here, copy, and we'll load up that. Change this, save, and again the same thing. We want to load it up, make sure that we've actually got it. Say yes to our message. Okay, and here we have it. We have the same IP address right there. We're all good. Okay, so that's data node 2. Now let's just wrap up with data node 3. Okay, let's pull up the PuTTY again. Okay, we'll go back into our management console, grab the DNS, paste that into the host, and you remember at the front we got to make sure we have Ubuntu at, save that, open, click yes to this message again, and we're in. Remember the IP address is 65 at the end, 165 that is. Okay, and we're good. Okay, now the next step is we're going to configure WinSCP, because what we're going to use WinSCP for is transferring some files over to these new servers. I already have a few set up, but they are not correct, and I'm going to delete these from there. Delete that. Don't need all these things. And our last one here. Excellent. Okay. Now, on the new site, now this is slightly different than PuTTY. From here, let's start with a name node. This is our host again. We'll go back into WinSCP. Host name is there. This is Ubuntu. Okay. No password yet. We also have our our authentication file that we have to pull over. Okay. This is our PPK file that we created. All right. And we click OK. We save this. And I'm going to call this Amazon name node. All right. And once again, we're going to just do some cloning here. We're just copying that information so we can save ourselves a little bit of time. We're going to use data node 1 once more time. Okay. Paste that into the host name. All this information stays, and you remember over here our authentication file is still there. All right, and we want to save that, and we're going to call this data node 1. Okay, and we're going to clone this one again too. Get into back over here. This is data node 2 that we're going to work on now. Okay, save that and change this to 2. Last one, clone that, and we're going to get data node 3 public DNS. Grab that. Okay. I'm just doing Alt Tab if you want to know how I'm getting over so quickly. Changing applications. Okay, data node 3. Okay, so here we have all of our data nodes set up in WinSCP. Now, WinSCP is a file transfer protocol system using secure protocol. What it allows us to do right now is we can log into that system. Let's try the name node for now. Okay, and it's going to log in using a secure connection. Same kind of message as before. It's just talking about keys and security. We're going to say yes to that. Okay, so here we are. We're at the home Ubuntu user folder. From here, we're going to be doing a lot of work. We're going to be moving some information over so that we can use our set up our passwordless SSH. All right, we're going to pick up again in part 3 of this video series with passwordless SSH. Don't forget to like and subscribe. My name is Chris Dick. Talk to you next.